Let's pop the top.
Oh, we're supposed to drink it.
Welcome back to Drunk Wives Club.
This is so good.
We are drinking Wrench by Industrial Arts Brewing Company. It's an IPA.
Yeah, where is it though?
Oh, I forget. New York, I want to say. I don't think that's right.
I don't know either.
I'm not sure. Someone tell us in the comments where this is from.
Yeah, somebody help us out.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody's watching on video, we're doing this after work on a Wednesday. So we look superb and we both showered and washed our hair today.
But are also in what looks like a storage closet. So
yes,
we can't win everything.
Yeah.
The lighting is much better though.
It is. We kind of looked dingy last time.
Well, it was Sunday and we didn't shower. So
yeah, Sunday fun day was a rough one. I think I got kind of toasted during that.
Definitely did. Definitely did. But welcome back. Thank you for joining us. This is our third episode. And today we're going to talk about the differences of how
we grew up.
Yeah. Between not us. But like
I think it's us and our husbands.
Right. And like kind of how that has shaped our relationships to this day.
Was there something else?
No.
I promise I haven't drank yet.
Yeah, as of now, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to actually start a timer this time because I forgot the last time. So I'm going to do that right now. But yes. So, and then I think, yeah, we'll just talk about, I think that'll lead to probably more conversations about what our relationships are like right now.
Yeah. It will probably lead into a bunch of weird shit.
Or like previous relationships, which I'm totally okay with talking about.
Do I get to talk about the guy who ghosted me again? Billy?
It's really funny that we're just talking about like we're wives, but we so far have mentioned like previous ex-boyfriends in two of our now three
That's
episodes,
true.
But
it shapes who you date and how you are in future relationships, I think. Because you realize the shit that you don't want to put up with.
Exactly. You learn so much about what you don't want. And then you realize exactly what you want. And that's when you get married.
Yeah. For anyone who's still single, I suggest you date as much as you freaking want. Because then you'll see what you deserve.
It seems like a hard life out there, though.
It really does. I honestly couldn't be single. Some of my friends are still single, and I give it to them. I can't. And plus,
I think I would be single if I wasn't married to Mark. I would be single probably for like ever.
We always talk about that. We would just buy a house and have a bunch of animals.
Yeah.
I
don't know who would take care of the animals when we would be like away and like doing fun things, but we clearly haven't thought that.
Our Tinder dates.
I don't think I could do apps.
Yeah, I don't think I have the patience.
I never did apps.
You missed out.
Well, you have amazing stories from that, as we talked about in episode 2. So
anyway,
yeah. So I will start, I guess. So okay.
I guess.
Yeah, so I guess I grew up with one parent. So I think that was like a big difference between Mark and I.
We love Patty.
We love Patty.
If you're listening,
she's definitely
we love you so much.
Definitely listening. We love her so much. And so it was just me, her, and my twin brother. So like it was like a really close knit family. And I think it just really shaped a lot of who I am today. And then Mark, his parents are still married. They were married not that long before they had him, but and then he has a sister too. So like again, smaller but like very close-knit family. So I think we were friends. If people didn't listen to the previous episode, we were friends for like a really long time. So I knew his family, he knew mine, and I think that like really helped in the like, direction of us dating. And like we didn't have to go through the awkward like, meeting the parents phase. Like we already had that, which was like really nice, and like one less thing that we had to worry about. But it's definitely been interesting in our relationship to see like how he grew up versus how I grew up. So like, for example, because it was like just my mom and we played sports a lot, like we were really not home a lot. Like always at practice, always running like here and there. And my mom was working like a lot. So we really just like ate when we could. We would try to sit down and have dinners like when we were younger, but then when we got older, it just like wasn't possible. And then yeah, and so then we got like really busy and we just didn't ever really like sit down together. It was just like not really possible. And then especially in high school, Scott and I started working out like 14. So, and
that was
like,
you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like a party host coordinator for children's birthday parties. So, and I worked like a lot. And Scott would work a lot too. So we just, or was always he was like always playing sports. So I think that was like a part that was definitely different for me than for Mark, because his parents like made sure they were like sitting for dinner at home, which I think is nice, but just wasn't possible for us. And now that we're married and have our own house and now we have a son, like that's like a thing that Mark said like when we started living together would be like a really important thing. And I just like didn't really think
sitting down for dinner.
Yeah. And I didn't really think it was like a big thing. I was like, no, like I'd rather just like chill, hang out, sit in front of the TV and like watch it, because that's like how I grew up.
With like a TV tray.
Yeah. And I actually like love doing that now. So that was like a big thing for me. That was like very different, but very important to him based on how he grew up. So that's like a tradition. I don't know if I would say it's a tradition, but it's definitely something that like we want to show our son. And I also don't know if like it'll be interesting if he plays sports or does whatever he wants to do, like band or any extracurricular activities. I have no idea, but it'll just be like interesting to see like how it'll get harder when he gets older.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like teenagers hate doing that.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it at like 26.
And now, like, even when teenagers, they have their phones and everything, like all we had to worry about was somebody calling the landline,
right?
Or like our AIM away message being on.
Oh, I know.
And our crush getting on.
And it was like always a huge thing. Like no one was to answer the phone when we were eating. Yeah. It was like a big thing.
But now I feel like people just eat with their phones next to them. And if somebody calls, you're like, well, I guess I'll answer it.
I know. I don't even know. We talk about this too. Like we didn't have cell phones until we were 14. We couldn't text until 9 because it was only free after 9. We only had like 200 text messages.
It's
like
so weird to think about. Like even when we were kids, our parents didn't really know where we were. They just
and
that we would call.
I know, and that just so freaks me out now that I'm like, I don't even know when I would get Brady a phone.
Yeah,
like I don't know.
You think about like Halloween, we would walk around the neighborhood for hours, and I always ask my mom, I'm like, did you just know we were going to come home? And she's like, I just trusted you. And I'm like, I would never trust my children walking around at night by themselves now on Halloween.
I know.
And like now they're just a text away, or you can track their location.
I know.
They're going to track Brady's location.
I don't know. I haven't even like thought about it. My son is 1, so I
want to track his location.
I have some time to figure it out. But yeah, that was like a big thing for me. And then I think also a big thing was, which like I never will complain about, but I never really had to do chores, which is like crazy to say out loud.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So I was like a really messy kid. Like my family can attest, like my whole family, not like just my mom and my brother, like how bad like my room was.
I don't think you're messy as an adult though, are you?
I am, which is like,
I feel like you're not that bad though.
Well, so like I'm organized with work and I'm like organized with like certain life things, but like at home
you're just like, well, I'll get to it later.
It's like I'm an organized mess, which is
that's actually a way to describe
which is actually how I am also at work. So it's kind of the same. Like my desk, like my friend at work just makes fun of me. He's like, are you gonna clean that? I'm like, no.
But I feel like people like that, they know exactly where their things are.
Yeah.
So if you try to organize it for them, it just causes chaos.
Right. Which leads into like cleaning our house. Like Mark is meticulous about where things go because he grew up that way. His parents grew up that way. He did chores all the time. He still calls them chores. And that was like a big thing for when we moved in together. He's like, we
You
have
do
to
your
do
chores,
literally.
like Sunday chores.
Literally. He would be like, we have to do chores this weekend. And I'm like, well, sir, I am 28. So I
don't want to do
If
chores.
you mean like clean the house, like that's fine. But like we're not gonna call them chores anymore.
What do you call them as
Now,
adults?
it's like cleaning.
Just things
Like
you have
doing
to
things
do.
around the house. Yeah, like it's just like a part of adult life to me. So
That's true. I have not referred to cleaning as a chore.
why
since I
would
was like
you? Exactly. It is a weird thing.
If
It
you're
is a
doing
weird thing.
chores, you should still be getting paid for it. I'll even take $1.
I know. And I also just like don't like to clean. So
Yeah.
and then the problem was that when we found out that very big difference between us when we lived together, that although I don't like cleaning, I am like better at cleaning like bathrooms, which is like not a fun part of cleaning,
ew.
obviously, but like my like attention to detail with like cleaning and like making sure like I wouldn't miss spots and stuff. So that was like a large adjustment. And now, and we had it figured out for like a while, like I would clean the bathrooms and he would clean like the whole house, the whole rest of the house, because he would like dust and vacuum.
Wow.
But the bathrooms would take me so long. And we would do like 4 to 5, and I don't care like what people think about this. This is just what we did, like
I'm
4
nervous.
to 5 like deep cleans a year.
That's enough though.
Because
Deep
it
clean
would
is
be
a
like a
lot.
deep clean, but now with Brady, it's totally different. And that was before we had a dog.
Oh gosh.
So now we have to vacuum every other weekend. And it's like a lot because Brady doesn't let me like put him down. Or now he's running around.
So now he's chasing
So
the
now
vacuum.
He is chasing the vacuum.
Is he afraid of the vacuum?
No, he loves the vacuum. Loves the vacuum.
That's actually really cute.
I know.
A lot of kids are afraid of it.
No,
They
loves
scream.
it. Loves it. Like was
Maybe
mad.
you should get them. They have those toy vacuums for kids that actually vacuum.
I know. I asked somebody about that and they told me where to get it, but I couldn't, like, I saw it on her Instagram story and I asked her about it and I couldn't find the one that she had. And I found like other ones. I didn't like them. But then we were at my one friend's house recently and they have like a broom like set thing. So I think we might do that. He like loves cleaning, which must be his father.
A product of his dad.
Yeah, because I was like, that's not me. And that was, I think that honestly, and like to this day, like I feel like it's always, oh, like if there's like two, like a male and a female in a relationship, like the girl is like the one that it's supposed to be like, oh, well, like you're the clean one. You have to like, you see those like TikToks and Instagram stories where it's like, oh, like you're throwing your laundry like in front of the basket and not in the basket. And there's always a guy like, that's
you.
That's me. I'm not clean. I'm not
I knew you were messy, but I didn't know you were that level.
So I think that's the way to describe it. I'm messy.
Yeah.
So, but like when it gets like dirty, then I don't like it. But there's a difference between messy and dirty. Do you not think?
I mean, yes, I agree. But what is
messy
dirty?
Is
like dusty.
Like,
messy is just like
it gets to like
ground.
a different level. Yeah, like messy is like 4 shirts that I don't feel like putting away for 2 days in a row. Like that's what that is. But dirty is like you're like leaving something out that like should be thrown out, or like something like that,
or like the dog puked on the floor and you have to clean it up.
Well, yeah, I would never. Okay, I would.
If you just left it.
No, I could not imagine that. I would not do that. But that was like the big thing for me. And like that was like a thing for Mark every weekend. Like he would mow the lawn. I lived in a townhouse, so we never had to do that. So we never had to do like any outside work. So it would really just be like inside work. And my mom just, God bless her, never made me clean my room.
You guys don't have to mow the lawn now, do you?
Mm-mm.
That's pretty nice.
I know.
I hate yard work. That's just not my thing.
Does Anthony like yard work?
He is obsessed with the lawn. He became a total lawn dad probably this summer, because last summer we hired someone to mow it. And Anthony, as he's getting closer to 40, he's becoming a cheapskate, and he's like, I can do it myself and I'll do it better. But now,
But did he though do it better? It seems he did.
he did. And
Yeah.
he'll spend like 6 hours on the lawn striping it and then taking pictures and sending it to his friends saying, look at my lawn. And I was like, this is truly
Do people
embarrassing.
do a lot of people do that? I don't know. Like I have lived in a townhouse like almost my entire life. Actually, my whole life. I've never had to feel like I didn't have like a male figure or even a female figure that did that. Because like Mark's mom did like they had a huge like a lot of
their
land.
land was huge.
Yeah. And so she would have like she would drive the tractor sometimes.
I just don't really understand it, to be honest. But it looks good, but I don't know if I would spend my weekends doing that. But Anthony
someone has to do it.
Not me.
It's not me.
Not me. I don't even like planting or anything. Does your mom like planting?
No. Like in a townhouse, like it's not really like a thing.
Oh, I guess
have
you don't
to do.
Yeah.
Because they can like you can do landscaping, but it's like she weeds, but she doesn't like plant anything.
I don't like it. My mom will spend hours out there on a Sunday too, and I just think you have so many other things you could be doing.
That's what I say about golf. If you're outside doing things for hours, like it should be something fun. But people think like planting and like plants are fun and they look really nice. I just can't. That's just not me.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is every time I will plant something, then we go on vacation for a couple days. Yeah, and it dies because there's nobody there to water it. And I'm not going to ask people to go to my house to water the plants.
Why? People do it all the time. You could ask us.
They'll go over there and water them.
Mark would do it. Mark likes it.
Again, it's such an inconvenience to ask.
Mark did a lot of things that I
like. I understand. I would ask people to be like, "Oh, can you go let my dogs out?" But I wouldn't be like, "Can you go water my plants?"
Yeah, but
like just let them die.
The dogs out or something. They can already water your plants if they're there.
That's true. I just hate watering plants. It's a lot of work because then you got to unravel the hose and wheel that up. Okay, not that much work, but it's something I don't enjoy doing.
It's just not something you love.
Yeah, I don't know. And Anthony got the yard dug up this year for the sprinkler system so we wouldn't have to water. It was like this whole mess.
That's a huge thing.
That he's obsessed with it, and now he runs the sprinklers like I've never seen anybody run the sprinklers.
I didn't even know that was like a thing people do for their like regular lawn.
Yeah, because he would spend like 8 hours moving our like sprinklers, watering it.
8 hours.
Yeah, it would take forever. But now he'll just go out, see the sprinklers, and stand out there and watch it.
Wow. Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Talk about interests that couldn't be more different.
Nope. I can say I will not ever go outside and watch sprinklers water my lawn. I'll watch them water the flowers because I don't want to freaking do it. But yeah.
Wow.
And then, we live in one of those neighborhoods where if you get anything done, the neighbors come over and they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I love that.
Yeah. So when we got the sprinklers installed, it was only a couple people at first that came to work on it, but then it multiplied into like 10 and they're digging up. They literally brought a digger. And of course, all the neighbors come over and they're like, oh, how much did this cost? Maybe I should look at it for our house. I'm like, don't ask me.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go to work.
Right. I'm just trying to ignore that this is happening.
But
wow.
Yeah, you want to come over and see the sprinklers?
I can't believe I feel so bad for Anthony, but like I've been there multiple times and I've never looked at your lawn.
You'll have to compliment his lawn next time.
Of course I will. Now that I know that he stands there and watches it be watered, he's definitely gonna do that.
Yep.
And not at all make fun of him for anything.
You can. I do all the time. I'm like, were these sprinklers worth it? And he said 1,000 times yes, he'd do it over. And still watch them.
Wow, that's really something.
Yeah, I guess that's just part of being married.
I guess so.
That's the fun part because you can make fun of your significant others for stupid shit.
Marry someone that will sprinkle your lawn.
If you need any sprinkler systems installed, I will give you our company. They were pretty great to work with.
Wow, that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, but
okay, so wait, what are the differences like that you think about how are being wow.
What? How much have you drank already?
2 sips of beer. No. Yeah, no, but how are like what are differences that you've seen that you think could be, not necessarily they are, but like could be based off of the differences that you guys grew up? Because he didn't grow up near you at all.
He didn't. Anthony is a great Southern boy, so
hence the long,
yeah, and a bit of a Southern accent. He can't really talk correctly, and
Really?
that's plus he has braces, so he has a lisp.
He can't talk correctly.
Yeah, he has
it. Is he gonna actually listen to these?
I hope so, because I want to hear him make fun of his braces.
You had braces also.
I did.
To clarify,
adult braces are not fun.
Yeah, Jess had braces, so she can't. I guess that means you can make fun of him more because you also did it. But I wanted to make sure that our listeners understand that you also did do that.
I did, and I loved adult braces because I'm a big teeth person.
You are a big teeth person. So is Mark.
I don't know why I'm like that, but I don't know. Yeah, adult braces. But so Anthony grew up pretty similarly-ish, I would say. He grew up in the South. His dad is from the middle of the country, like lived in the mountains, no running water, heat, electricity, whatever. And he met Anthony's mom in Korea when he was in the army, and then brought Mrs. Berry over. And I will say, I feel like this is a very rare thing to experience. I love my in-laws and I love Anthony's family. And the first time I met them, I was like, these are my people. Because his parents,
I would say that's pretty rare.
Yeah, they reminded me of my parents.
Really?
A bit. Yeah, because they're still together-ish. My parents are still together. I loved his sister, and they just like welcomed me into their family, like they've known me forever. And in Korean,
your family also does that.
Yeah, the first day they met Anthony, my mom was obsessed with him. She says he's her favorite son-in-law, and I'm like, well, you only have one unless you have.
You're also only going to have one.
Yeah,
fully.
So yeah, it's just I like a lot of my friends. They like their in-laws, but they don't love their in-laws or hang out with them. Where it's vice versa. Like if I leave Anthony at home for a week, well, I'm on vacation or at a work conference or something. Yeah, he'll be there, or he'll like go hang out with my dad and talk about the lawn or some stupid other shit. And the same thing, if I was in Florida, if I moved to Florida and Anthony was away for work or something, I would go hang out with his parents because they're fun. And they love to go to the casino, which also.
You love the casino.
That's what I bonded. I think one of the first times I met them, they're like, do you want to go to the casino?
Really?
And I was like, I love the casino. And we spent like 8 hours there.
These are my people.
Yeah. So I just think it's an interesting thing about Anthony and I that we really just meshed well with each other's families. And the same thing, similar to Mark, like when I grew up, my parents were always like, we need to have family dinners every night. But as you get older, it's just not as important. But I think with Anthony and I, we're both just so busy with work. I think that's where we really reconnect. Like, I'm like, let's go out to dinner or do date night, but like, just leave your phone on silent. Yeah. Or like, don't look at it unless obviously it's an emergency or something. So I just think that's also an important thing that keeps us connected, because as you get older and you work a lot, shit is just busy and it's hard to spend quality time together, which is when we brought up like it's so important to keep dating. Because sometimes I feel like people in relationships, they don't date, and that's where it's kind of becomes like, oh, this is just my roommate or something.
Yeah, it's like a stalemate. It's not necessarily that like you don't love the person still, but that connection definitely is strengthened by dating.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that's partially like why we wanted to start this podcast a little bit, because like we talk about that as friends all the time, and we tell other people that are like getting married or together, like they should continue to date no matter what. Like that's like, I think some of the best advice that we could give people, because it's also, like you said, you guys are so busy with work. So it's nice to just like disconnect from that, and you can talk about work, but it's not like the only thing you're talking about. Like if you come home and he comes home and then you just like both have a bad day, like that's kind of what you're focusing on and not like each other.
Yeah. And I think the other hard thing with us too is that I have so many after hour work things.
Mhm.
Like it's either meetings or freaking events or social gatherings or whatever the heck it may be. And then it's like, oh, I scheduled a happy hour or dinner with my friends the next night too. So it's like sometimes I'm literally not home for 3 nights in a row.
Yeah.
But it's like those are the things that you have to reconnect on. Like I'm like, okay, if I'm out 3 nights this week, let's just spend the whole weekend together without phones or anything, or
Right.
something like that. Because it's just hard to keep the relationship, I feel like, connected when you're doing so many other things all at once. Because I also don't want to let like my work slip. Like these are things that are important to me, or like
Right.
seeing my friends on the, I would actually much rather go to happy hours during the week than like do something on the weekend sometimes. Because sometimes on the weekends I just want to sleep.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to spend a
I
full
think
day.
that shows our age a little bit, but I'm also the same way.
Yeah, because it's easier just to like grab a drink for a couple hours. Because on Saturdays, if I start drinking,
We don't stop.
I was gonna say, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
You have obligations the next day during the week.
yeah,
So,
I mean,
you know.
yeah, it keeps you responsible. And I think the other
That's not. No.
yeah, that's 6
No, it
hours
doesn't.
at Harry's differently. But the
No.
other thing, Anthony's mom is Korean, so in Korean culture, I was so nervous to meet her for the first time because I was like, Anthony, if your mom doesn't like me, then I don't think she's gonna like ever welcome me into their home. And Anthony like primed her on the type of food I like, because I'm very plain.
Very plain.
And because he's like, in Korean culture, if you don't eat what's on the table that my mom prepared for you, it's seen as very rude and disrespectful. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what if they cook like all this spicy food and I just have to suffer through it?
You would have had to suffer through it. That's what
I would have been like sweating.
What would you have done? Like, first of all, that's like so sweet of him.
Yeah.
So like that's that's so sweet. I like love talking about Anthony Mark. I talk about Mark all the time. You don't talk about Anthony that much. So I'm learning all of this information. That's so sweet. But like seriously, if he didn't do that and she like would make something that you definitely wouldn't eat, which is basically like chicken nuggets, a flatbread, or like cheeseburger with nothing on it, like what, like that's literally what you eat.
And now
so like what would you have done? You would have
I would have just ate it, yeah, because I was so scared. And now every time I go over, she's like, I made you non-spicy food, and she literally like makes the biggest spreads of what I like from her cooking.
That's
every time I
so
go down.
nice.
And I remember the one time Anthony and I got in this huge fight. I don't remember what it was. He pissed me off for some reason. And she came in, she's like, you want me to tell Anthony to go away? And I was like, yes, I'm so angry at your son. I love him, but he has made me so angry today. She's like, I go tell him you go to the beach by yourself.
Oh
and she
my
like packed a bag for me and everything.
That's so
nice.
nice.
And then I guess she went in and told Anthony, she's like, you better go find her at the beach and say sorry. I know. So I think Anthony's mom officially likes me more than Anthony.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm pretty likable though.
Yeah. You're just like a very, very nice person.
I know, it's a blessing and a curse.
It is. I also know.
Don't tell me that.
Well, it is. You said it. I'm agreeing.
I need another drink.
I know. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. I really didn't know that.
But yeah. So I feel like
there's no differences? Like
not a ton. I will say when I first met Anthony and saw his apartment, he was very dirty. I don't know if it's dirty or messy, probably both. Like
now that you know there's a difference.
Yeah, now that you know there's a difference. Like he would never clean anything. And before we moved in, I was like very stern on saying, I'm not going to move in with you until we are engaged, which we did wait for. And then when we moved in, I am a little bit of a psycho when it comes to everything being in its place. So
yeah, I know.
Complete opposite of you.
Yeah, like, you and Mark are very similar.
I don't like things when they're out of place. I like all the countertops to be clean.
Yeah,
like
your house is always very clean.
But I think I grew up like my mom was like that. So that's why I just adopted her ways.
Is his family not as like needs to be this way, or they were, but he just wasn't?
They're
like
pretty clean, but they're not like as psycho clean as I am. Like their house is in great cleanliness and everything. They just have like, sometimes there's clutter places, but
So
I
if
feel like
he
all places have clutter.
asking for a friend, if he leaves something on the table, but he left it on the table because he needed it like a couple of hours later, and
I'll put it
you would
somewhere.
move it.
I would. And Anthony's the type of person that when we were moving out of our apartments and in together, he kept all of his iPhone boxes. There was like 10 of them. And I said, why do you keep boxes of shit that you buy? I don't understand. It's like people who keep shoe boxes.
I keep shoe boxes.
You're the problem. Like, why do we keep boxes? Like, what are you going to use it for?
Well, I put the shoes in the boxes, like
Why?
off season, because they keep their shape.
Okay, that's different. But like sneaker boxes?
If I'm not going to wear them for a while, I put them back in. Does he put
No, they were all empty.
Oh yeah, no, that doesn't work.
And Anthony's also a serial. If he leaves something on the counter and I see it, he'll get rid of it really quick by just putting it in a drawer. So like all of our empty drawers just have crap in it. And I'm like, why did you put this here? Like old pamphlets, like business cards, just crap that he thinks we need to keep.
He might in a drawer later on. I know.
No. And he used to travel a lot for work. And when he would travel, I would throw things away. And also, I'm very particular about only keeping clothes that you wear. So he would have all of these shirts from like 2010 that he kept, like skater shirts.
Mark still has that.
And I was like, what? They don't wear it, but he doesn't wear it, right?
Not anymore.
So
he started it. He did when we started living together, though. And I was like, and he has like pretty big muscles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that does not fit you. like
it used to. And also Anthony lost a ton of weight. So he has all these baggy clothes. And I'm like, if you don't wear it, there are people in need who will wear it.
Yeah. So Mark is like on this he's always very healthy, which is like also a very like large difference between him and I am not. You can ask any of my work friends how much candy I eat.
It gets you through the day.
It's really bad. But Mark is like on this huge health kick. He's always cares about like putting like really nice things into your body. Like,
oh yeah.
But like really big on like grass-fed milk now, like grass-fed meat.
Does grass-fed milk taste different?
So different.
Is it gross?
No, it's really a lot better. It's actually like everything that he's done is a lot better, with the exception of he wanted to remove high fructose corn syrup from our diets, which is like a lot.
Is it fructose or fructose?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Whatever I said is what I said. I don't know. And so it was in maple syrup. And so we got one that doesn't have it in it, and I can't stand it. So now I just don't eat maple syrup anymore, which actually seems like that is better. But he's like in this whole like health kick in like a different way than he has been. So it's like that food thing. But then also he is like, he has a friend who is from Cyprus, doesn't live in Cyprus anymore, but just moved to somewhere.
Where's Cyprus?
I don't know. I knew you were going to ask me that. I'm not sure, but he went to college with him. Like he went to Coastal Carolina, but then he had to move back. And they talk like a lot. And I guess the food there and like everything there is so much better for you. Like they don't have things like sitting on the shelf. Like you have to eat the stuff that you buy within like 2 days. You go to the grocery store like almost every day.
Oh, that's really
terrible. No, it's actually, but it's like better for you because it means like
you're eating all like fresh food.
Right. Like it means that like there's not a ton of like preservatives like in the food. So he's like been talking to him a lot, and he's in like this huge thing. So that is like the one thing. And then it's now him focusing on like being a more minimalistic person with like clothes. So that's why like And so he like I again am the opposite. I'm like, well, I still have these shirts from 10 years ago and they still fit me. And so I don't need new clothes. Like it's really a problem. I honest to God think that this skirt is from 6 years ago.
Really? It's
Mhm.
cute. I've never saved
Well, I
clothes.
haven't done my own laundry in about 3 weeks because I just keep doing Brady's.
You
And
can't
so
wash baby clothes with human clothes or adult clothes, can you?
you can, but like you only do the delicate cycle, and like a lot of my clothes I don't need to do that with, and I feel like they don't clean them as much.
Yeah,
So
it takes forever.
all my laundry takes forever. So I just don't, I'm really running out of pants, hence this skirt. So, but
It's
like
summer,
it's
who wears
definitely like
pants?
old. I can definitely tell you that this shirt is from Christmas of 2016.
Don't tell me.
Yeah. It's
Clothes this long.
but I wear them. That's like the
that's
thing.
true.
There are clothes that I don't wear, and him doing that has actually helped me realize like I should really do that too. But I mean,
I think the hard part about getting rid of clothes, at least for girls, you're always like, but what if I want to wear that again?
every time I throw something out, I'm like, I don't throw it out, I donate it. But like every time I get rid of it, I'm like, I haven't worn this in like 2 years.
But then
And
that
then
one time,
yes,
and
then
you're like, I
that's-
wish I had
yeah,
these clothes.
but I do have to really get better at that because it's not great. Like I don't need all the clothes that I have. I do need all the shoes that I have.
I'm a big shoe person too,
I'm a
especially in the
big
winter.
boot, right? I'm a big boot person.
I'm
I
a
actually don't
sneaker
have a lot of
person.
summer shoes, and both of my pairs just broke. So now
I would
just
say
like
I
flip-flops for the
like
next 3
summer
weeks.
clothes better than winter clothes because I always never know what to wear to work because I don't like work pants. I wear leggings.
Yeah, so you just wear like leggings and like a big sweater.
Yeah.
And
I don't
we
like wearing
talked
pants,
about this the
though.
last episode. Like I don't really dress up very much for work, so
We don't. But look at us today. We look great.
I know. I'm really proud of us.
I know. I wish they could see my mermaid hair more. It's amazing. Anybody who's been at the beach this year, if you have
any
seen,
beach?
yeah, I'm assuming it's on any boardwalk. I would think they do this thing called hair tinsel now, where they basically just tie little strands of like sparkly string in your hair. Amazing. But you can get it on Amazon for $8. So I highly suggest you do not overpay at the beach. And then you can tell everybody you have mermaid hair.
I know. It's like one of the pieces is a little bit longer than her hair, and I thought that it wasn't her hair.
Did you think it was trash?
No, maybe a little bit. Like I thought it was like a string from your
I don't know.
dress, but it didn't make any sense because it's not sparkly.
Nope,
so I was really
mermaid hair.
confused, but I was like, oh, that is attached to you.
I have a question for you about living with a male specimen. Does he leave the toilet seat up?
Oh, not on purpose. He almost never does. But we do have, but it's funny because we do have guy friends that come over, some of which don't live with females, and some of which do, and they all leave it up every time. I don't understand.
I think it's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like I will have unhealthy rage in the morning sometimes before going to work, and if I see it up, I slam it shut to the point where Anthony can hear it downstairs.
Well, yeah, that's why you do it.
Yeah, but
no, I don't, because look, I just told you I'm the messy one. So like that is not a battle I would ever pick. I have enough battles to pick about how
that's true.
He just moves everything all the time. I don't understand it. He threw out a gift receipt and I was like, but I needed that because I needed to return something. And he was like, well, you can just go back to Target and tell them when you purchased it. And then you did. And I'm like, or you could have just not thrown the receipt out.
We do not like things.
You could have asked me.
Is your car messy? I don't know if I've ever
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
I'm also very psycho about having a clean car too, to the point where I didn't like
you have like really nice cars.
But I didn't like to drive people around because I didn't want dirt in the back seat because nobody ever sits back there. And like sometimes I would drive my friends around and there would be like I could just see dirt or a leaf on the
Do you know that's actually like
a problem?
No, I almost, well, yes. I almost have never drive with you.
I think I only drove you to my bachelorette party.
Which will be another episode.
You yelled at me for going 30 through the easy pass.
You weren't going 30, you were going 50. And I actually thought about it the other day, even though your bachelor party was like 3 years ago, because I was going really fast. And I was like, remember that one time that Jess almost just like ran over other cars?
Fast. It's an easy pass lane.
I know. You were just like flying.
I wanted to get to the Jersey
Miss
Shore.
also thought that you were going too fast. I wasn't the only one. I wasn't, but you're right. That's so funny because I hate driving.
I was gonna say,
I don't really drive with you much.
I hate driving.
Drove me around for years.
Missy loves driving and she's a great driver.
She is a great driver. I'm an okay driver, horrible parker.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't like to drive, because I don't like I don't like to go places if I don't know where they are, or I've never been there before, or if I don't know the parking situation, which I always try to Google, and sometimes there's nothing, or sometimes then I freak out because there is no parking and I already know.
Parallel parking, and I can't parallel park, so I won't go.
I also do that. I don't go. That's why when we go out like in Phoenixville, I go far. Yeah, I drive really far.
And if I don't know, sometimes I would rather pay for an Uber driver to drive me than drive myself, because I hate driving that bad too.
I don't know if I'm like that. I don't really love
like that.
No, I don't really like love taking Ubers if it's like near where we live, but if it's in the city,
is it because it's a stranger?
No, I just like don't like it. I feel like there's I don't know. I'm trying
to find this like underlying reason why.
It's not necessarily the most safe thing.
Yeah,
I'm really like an overly observant person.
Did I tell you about my Uber driver to the airport?
When?
I can't believe.
Wait, which time?
Maybe it was only Anthony. So I travel a lot for work, and I had to go to Ohio 2 weeks ago.
Before you finish, is this going to make me not want to be in Ubers more?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I don't know why you're telling me.
But I didn't know you could schedule an Uber.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh.
So I scheduled it because I didn't know if there was going to be an Uber available at 7 a.m. So this lady shows up 5 minutes early, which is great because I was like, I don't want to be late for the airport because I hate Philly airport. I get in. You know, the ride to the airport from where we live is like at least an hour in the morning.
In the morning, yeah.
She talked nonstop for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Anything. And she had to have been on something because she wasn't right in the head. And then midway through the ride, she's like, I'm homeless. I was
like, this is why I don't do that.
And I was like, oh, you're homeless. Like, how did you get this car? And I guess you can rent cars through Uber. And
you can? That I didn't know.
She talked about her sex life. She talked about her son a lot, where she lives. But the kicker is,
but you just said she was homeless.
She lives in a hotel in Norristown. And if anybody is from this area, you know about the Black Horse Tavern. Do you know about the Black Horse Tavern? Mm-hmm. It's connected to a hotel, a motel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The one here. And I was like, have you ever been to the Black Horse Tavern? And she told me she had been because her ex-husband would always go there, and he was an alcoholic. So she would go there to pick him up. But that's not where she lives. Yeah, and then I got out and I was like, okay, I hope you find a home soon. I mean, call me if you need anything.
Yes.
I gave her an extra tip. She was homeless, but she was wearing Gucci sunglasses.
Okay, so that's my thing. Like, was she actually homeless, or did she just do that because she wanted a bigger tip? I don't know.
Either.
I do not know.
Very
but
pretty
I would have just pretended I fell asleep or something.
Well, I was like, is it rude to put my headphones in? And I didn't even really respond the whole time. She just kept talking and talking.
Oh, well then, I don't know what else you could have done.
Yeah.
That's why I don't take Ubers.
For the most part, they're nice. For the most part, they don't talk to you.
Well, Mark talks to like every Uber driver.
That doesn't surprise me.
Right.
He does that shit too. I'm like, why do we have to talk to them?
I say, hi, how are you? And if like something comes up where we pass something that looks cool, we comment on it, and that's it.
I love Uber drivers that know the history of their city, because if
I like,
if
they know Philly, who are like not around here, which is
know
also
what to say.
really scary though.
Would you know what to say about Philly? I'd be like, here's the Liberty Bell, here's Boathouse Row,
No, I don't,
here's the Schuylkill River. There's probably dead bodies in
I
it.
like, I don't like love Philly, so I purposely don't know things. But I can talk
It's a-
about the Philly sports, so that's what I would do.
It's a city of brotherly love. Oh my god, I forgot to tell you the other day.
Oh no.
Actually,
We're just going on a tangent.
yesterday, I feel like this ties in because we talked about my obsession of Peloton last
Oh,
episode.
yeah.
So the Peloton logo, right?
Yeah.
I have it on my car.
Yeah.
Someone here was like, why did you put a Phillies logo sticker on your car?
No, those don't look anything right.
And
The same.
I was like, I don't know who this is more embarrassing for, me or you, but
Definitely not you. Definitely not you. It was not you. That was not more embarrassing for you.
I had a great laugh for all my Philly fan people.
Wow, that's
It's very different.
It's not any. It's
No.
not similar at all.
Yeah.
No, other than the fact that it's a P.
It's a P.
That's it.
And it was red. It's red. Could have been Phillies.
No, it couldn't have been. No. I don't agree. I don't agree, but I feel like we have talked enough. I feel like people
How long has it been? Did you put the timer on for once?
I did. Like,
Wow, 45 minutes. That's a long time.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. If you're still listening. Okay. Well, rate, review, subscribe, and tap in
See you
next
next
week.
week. Oh, what's happening next week? Is that new?
Yeah, I made it up right now.
Right now.
Yeah. Well, no, Adam with. Okay, so we're currently.
Adam, you are a genius.
Yeah, we're currently working on our logos with my good pal Adam Thomas, who's so talented. So by the time you're listening to this, you'll already see it. But he says tap in today in one of the logos. It's like,
yes, thank you, Adam, for your talented and creative side that we do not have.
No, so tap in next week.
Wait.